third session on the Grief and Bereavement Literacy series that we're running is on children's grief, and it's titled Lumara, a Minecraft-based children's grief program. And I want to introduce you to our presenter. So we have Meaghan Jackson, who is a music therapist, music director, and she's in a private practice. Also, she works for the Lumara Grief and Bereavement Care Society. So today's session, we'll have about a 30-minute educational presentation by Meaghan, then probably 15 minutes of Q&A. So write down your questions and we'll get to them. And so now it's my pleasure to hand over the session to Meaghan.
Well, thank you for that lovely introduction. It is fabulous to be with you all today. Just a little bit about me. I have been working in children's bereavement as well as palliative and hospice care since 2006. I was the music therapist at Lionsgate Hospital and North Shore Hospice for many years before converting a school bus into a tiny home and making my way across the country to the other side on Cape Breton Island during the pandemic. So now I live on Cape Breton Island, originally known as Unamaki by the Mi'kmaq people. And I have been leading children's grief groups for that long, since 2006. And I have to tell you, I have never had such an amazing response from children than I have with working in Minecraft. I've never had children say, "Oh, can we stay longer? I just need a few more minutes," or parents messaging me to have more sessions because the child is so engaged in the experience. So it's been really, really interesting. And a learning experience for me. I was just telling Joshua and Jacqueline before that I actually don't like video games. Video games are not my thing. I hung it up I hung up my video game playing years with the Commodore 64. So I'm really not into it. So if I can do it, you can do it. It's a really lovely way to interact with children. So for today, we're just going to go through the basics, just the basics of what is Minecraft, understanding the difference between, like, I wish I could see a show of hands. Does anyone know the difference between Bedrock and Java Edition? These are the things you need to know. And then we're going to learn some of the therapeutic interventions that I've used and their outcomes. How are kids liking this experience? So what is Minecraft? Minecraft is it's what's called a sandbox video game. So it's really whatever you make it out to be. There are two ways to play: creative and survival. In creative, there's an aim. You need to stay alive. You basically are dropped into a created world, and you've got an avatar, like a character, and you can change how your character looks. And in survival, the aim is to stay alive. There's things called mods, kind of like monster type things, and you try to grab resources and survive with those resources. I never play survival. I find it way too stressful. Just putting that out there. It's not my cup of tea. However, creative is kind of fun. Creative mode, everything is in block form. You'll see from this picture, everything's kind of square. You'll know, I'm sure if you've seen any videos, examples, or if you've played any video games in recent years, there's this tendency towards realism. So it's as real as possible, the animation and the videos. But if you look at this, just this picture, this screenshot from Minecraft, it's very blocky, very simplistic. It almost reminds me of those Commodore 64 games, which is maybe that's why I gravitate towards this Minecraft game. It's wildly popular. If you have spent any time with a child or a teenager, or maybe even someone in their early 20s, if you've spent any time with someone, a younger person in the last number of years, chances are you've heard them talk about Minecraft. It's huge, and it feels like it's only growing right now. There is lots of opportunity for creativity in the game. Like I said, you get out of it what you put into it. Imagine, like, we all know Lego. We've all stepped on Lego. Imagine Lego in a screen format. So this is building, creating, kind of like Lego with the squares, in the virtual realm, if you will. Huge age range, like I say. I've seen 5-year-olds play it, and I've had 17, 18-year-olds join us as a peer mentor in my children's grief group as well. And he loves it. And I have to confess, I first came up with this idea watching my son. He's 15 now, and he's been playing Minecraft since he was about 7 or 8. And I've seen him really, he's autistic, and I've seen how he's learned how to grow and how to interact with others and how to create. It's a really and how to survive, the basic survival aspect of the game. You need to eat food, you need to have a shelter, those basic Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That's what these kids are kind of learning through this video game. And learning how to engage with others, learning how important it is to work together for a common goal. So how do you, how do I get back there? How do you play? Now, I'm going to explain Java Edition, because if you were to play, Bedrock Edition is the easier one. But if you meet any child or youth who knows anything about Minecraft, they're going to tell you that Java Edition is the superior edition. It's on the computer only. It is really great for if you want to do coding, if you want to change the game in any way, you play Java Edition. I do not know how to play Java Edition. Never tried it, have no urge to. My son tells me, he's 15 now, he assures me this is the superior way to play. I do not play that way, though, because it's not as accessible. You need to have a computer that can withstand the immensity of the game. And not everyone has computers that can do that. However, Bedrock Edition, you can play it on a phone, you can play it on a tablet, you can play it on a gaming console, a Nintendo Switch or an Xbox. It's I think it's about $10 for the app on the device, and then you have it forever. If you have it on a $10 for a tablet or a smartphone, it's about $30 for the console game on a Nintendo Switch or an Xbox. And lots of folks seem to, that seems to be much more accessible for people. That said, in order to play in my program, you do need two devices. So you do need one device with Minecraft downloaded, and then you need another device to run Zoom. So that's one thing that makes it a bit more complicated than, say, running a group in person, because the children that are in the program would need to have access to 2 devices. You'd also need a solid internet connection. For myself, I have what's called a Minecraft realm. So the very first group, so I had this idea to start this group. I saw my son play it, and I went, oh, there's some therapeutic value in that. This is a widely appreciated and enjoyed game for many different ages and skill levels. I think I want to start a grief group. And the wonderful organization that I work for, Lumara Grief and Bereavement Care Society, they enthusiastically said yes when I said, I think I want to start this group. It was just after the pandemic, the height of the pandemic. And I know I had let my 2 children be on screens way too much during the pandemic, because that was how they how they interacted with other kids. That's how they played with other kids during the pandemic. And then they started getting zoomed out. So we wanted to, Lumara, we wanted to have a children's program online so that kids could still have access to the supportive services that they needed and to connect with other kids who had experienced a loss. But Zoom, I don't know, adults are still loving it. Obviously, there's 86 folks in this presentation, but kids, they get bored easily. However, Minecraft is keeping them involved. So I use a Minecraft realm. The very first group I did, I tried to, when you play Minecraft, I can start a game, I can start a world. And then when I'm online, I can invite whoever I want to join my world. But it gets very laggy. And if something happens and I get kicked out of the game for whatever reason, everyone else gets kicked out of the game and it stops play. So I invested this world called Lumara. Up to 10 people can be in the realm at one time. So my groups have to be only 9 members, which is about what I would want for a group. I wouldn't want any more than that in a group, more than 9. And they can have access to the realm, Lumara, whenever they want. I can change the permissions so that they can only move a block, they can only destroy a block or place a block or move a block when I'm there, so that everyone in the group knows that their creations that they build in the world will be safe. So, and this is also really helpful. I don't know if anyone's ever run children's bereavement groups before, but this is like the online version of behavior management. It's the online version of keep your hands to yourself and don't destroy other people's artwork. So these kids can join at any time they want to. So they can build something, a memorial, something that expresses their memories of their loved ones, and they can come back and look at it, but they can't destroy anything. The very first group we ever did, we had a pig apocalypse where one of the kids loved to, it's called spawning. If you create a living quote unquote living creature in Minecraft, and someone spawned about 1 million pigs and it lagged the game and there were pigs everywhere. Just it's a whole thing. So now that means that when I'm not present, when I'm not playing, I know that the realm is safe for other kids to go in and look around. So some things we know about how children grieve. We know there's this beautiful metaphor called puddle jumping. So often with adults, when we describe our grief, when adults are grieving, we can describe it as, we're in the depths of the ocean, we're in the thick of it, we're feeling great heaviness, and adults can feel that great heaviness, feel that depth of the ocean for long periods of time. Children are, depending on their developmental age, they process their grief in a very different way. And I love this metaphor of puddle jumping. They can jump into their grief and they can just as easily jump out of it. So you can have this really profound, intense experience where a child is really feeling and expressing their grief through play, music, art, and then they are making a fart joke and running off into a field having fun. And that's how they have to do it. Their little brains and hearts can't stay in that depth for very long. They need to move through their grief. They need to, in order to process it, they need to work through it and jump like in a puddle. Providing space for creativity and play is absolutely imperative. So children are not going to sit down with you for an hour to talk about their feelings and how the experience is for them. They need to express themselves. It needs to be fun. It needs to be a game. They need to feel safe. They need to be comfortable, and we need to meet them where they are. We need to meet them where they feel safe, where they feel comfortable, and where they have the most fun. And we also need to follow their lead. They are the experts. They know exactly, well, they might not be able to, cognitively tell you what they need, but if you listen, if you're very careful, if you are attuned and have an open heart and a creative eye for play, we can follow their lead. They will tell us what they need. And Minecraft is this wonderful place where they are the experts, where they feel safe. They've played this game for maybe even years on their own, and it can be a really fun thing to have an adult come meet them where they feel safe, come meet them where they know how to do all of these incredible things, where they are light years ahead of my ability, and they're holding my hand and walking me through it. It's really fabulous to see. I don't know if you've ever seen some of these kids that I'm seeing. They've got gaming chairs and microphone, their headphones with the headset, and they're repeatedly telling me that Java Edition is better. And it's really lovely to be able to meet them where they feel safe. So Lumaria, this Minecraft-based children's grief program that I developed, we started it off with a 1-week summer break camp, and now we have a 1-week spring break camp. And in those week-long camps, it's 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, 9:30 in BC time. It's 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Every single time the children tell me they would like more time. Never happened to me before. I've never had kids say, I want to process my grief for longer, please. That doesn't happen. But it's happening in this Minecraft realm, which is fabulous. So we started having monthly sessions as well throughout the year, because the children were finding they just wanted more. They wanted to be in the realm more. I also meet with children individually in the realm for individual sessions. I had one child who it was that child's first, their father's first birthday since they had died, and the mom had emailed me the night before and said the only thing that her son wanted to do to remember, to honor his father's birthday, was to go into the realm and to build something. And so that's exactly what we did. We went to the realm, he built something for his dad, and that's how he wanted to process his father's, how he wanted to honor his father's first birthday since he died. I've had other children meeting individually, around the time of a funeral, like a delayed funeral, so maybe a year after the actual death, they had a service, and this little guy wanted to build a room, so he built a whole room in the nether. I'm not going to get into it. I don't have time to get into it. Nether's like, if you've seen Stranger Things, it's kind of like the upside down. It's like there's things above. It's regular, it looks like the real world, and there's things below. You can dig down, you can go in, there's nether portals, and you go into kind of like an alternate reality in Minecraft. And this little guy loves going into this nether, and he built a whole room and filled it with signs of memories of his dad. So he can go there. It's hidden, no one can see it, but he knows exactly where it is. So let's meet in Lumaria. So what a group looks like. We connect via Zoom. We spend the first 10-15 minutes getting everyone in. I ask everyone to change their name in Zoom to their name and their gamer tag, so I know who they are. Then we go into Lumaria, and I'm gonna flip forward. So we meet at the campfire. So this is the campfire here that we've built with the kids. Really common thing that we do at Camp Carey, which is a family grief bereavement retreat that we've been running since 2007. Campfire is a huge part of it. So I wanted the campfire to be a big part of Lumaria as well. So we will all meet around this campfire, and then we go and focus. The permissions are off at this point, so no one's building things, so I have their attention. And we do a typical children's grief group check-in. So I often talk about a rose thorn seed. What's something that you've liked? What's something in the past week or the past month? What's something that you maybe didn't like? What's something that's been hard for you? And then a seed. What's something that you're looking forward to? Then we often will talk, then we'll almost every group I'll say, who are you remembering, if you'd like to share. This is really an assessment piece for me to know, is the child that's in the group able to tell me, to share who they're remembering. Then I call it the question du jour, the question of the day. So that's a fun thing. This is like a hard question sandwich, I call it. So, rose thorn seed, something that you're looking forward to, and then who are you remembering, and then the question of the day. It could be, you could have any superpower. What would you have? What's your favorite color? I let the kids decide that question. And then depending on the theme of what we're working on, it could be, how do you like to remember? The question in there could be, how do you like to remember the person that you're remembering? Do you have any rituals that you do? It could be, what's your favorite memory? It could be, who can you go to for support? It could be, how do you relax? And then the mission of the day pertains to whatever question. So sometimes the mission of the day is, if the question was, what's a memory that you have of the loved one that you are remembering? It would be, build something that reminds you, that represents that thing. And I had one kiddo that he remembers building a hot tub with his dad. And so he built this fully functional hot tub with actual bubbling water. And it was so elaborate and just so beautiful. He spent like an hour working on this hot tub to honor his memory of his working on this with his father. So this is Lumara. You can't really tell, but to the right of your screen here, there's a whole the kids develop in our free time at the end. They developed a whole oh my goodness, what's the word for it? Roller coaster, a whole roller coaster that travels all around the world, which is really cool. And then it's creative time. I turn on the permissions, and then every child is invited to build an area that's theirs, and that's where they build their creation. So whatever we're working on, for whatever the mission of the day is. And also, I provide a space to build a memorial on the memory wall. I think it's my next slide. So this, I won't show you the inside of the memory wall, but this is the outside of the memory wall. You can kind of see a little bit of the realm here. On the other side of that memory wall are all of the really special memorials that these kiddos have made for their loved ones. So often I'll ask the question, what do you call your loved one, and what did your loved one call you? And then they'll make a plaque that says, Bobby is remembering Daddy-O, or whatever the name is, like whatever the fun name is that they've come up with. And then we learn how to light candles. And so we can honor, often a way that we remember our loved ones in group is by lighting a candle. So we light a candle in Minecraft. And then now that's elevated to fireworks, because these kids know how to make fireworks and plant flowers, and they've turned into these elaborate memorials to their loved ones that they can visit whenever they want. They can come back and visit. It's sweet. The last camp that I was running, they started calling them graves. I gotta work on my grave, and that's their language. That's how they are processing. It's how they're learning to develop language in this world where they feel safe. While this is all happening, I am a music therapist. So I say my name is DJ Nutmeg, and I ask for song suggestions. I request that I joke. I request please no songs that have curse words, because I don't want to get fired. They usually joke and respect that. So I ask for song suggestions from the players, and then we discuss, how does the music make us feel? What is this song about? how does it, yeah, so we take this time as we're playing to listen to music and talk about how it makes us feel and what the song means. And then we always do a body check-in about halfway through. So I always say time for a body check-in. If I forget, now they will remind me. I like to say, remember, we have to remember that we have bodies. And then we do a nice, I do a lot of relaxation in my work. So we do a nice deep breath, big stretches, let the breath out, have a mindfulness moment, and talk about how important it is to, look away from the screen to protect our eyes, healthy body things. This is teaching basic self-care as well for these kids. And you can tell, like, this is all their work. They made this. This isn't me making it. This is all of their development, and they love it. It's very, very sweet. So then during the closing of the session, we come back around. I turn off the permissions so that we can focus and everyone has a chance to share. What did they build? How did it make them feel? They can share their memory wall builds, which is, they're introducing us to the people that they lost. And then if we have time, which we often don't, we don't necessarily always have time because they get really into it. We have free play. So hide and seek, we build something together. We have competitions. It's really quite fun. And like I say, the participants, they can visit whenever they'd like. So they know that their builds are safe, and they've really become protective of the area, which is quite lovely. So what do the kids think? They have asked for longer sessions more often. They're engaged, they're active participants who really take ownership and leadership of this process. And they're asking to come to the realm during important grief anniversaries and special dates. And I think I'm running out of time, although I'm sure I could yammer on and on for longer. But that's just a little glimpse of the work that I've been doing in Minecraft for the past, I'd say, 1.5 to 2 years or so. Are there any questions? Let's see, I'm going into the chat. That is, oh wait, past sessions. Oh yeah, you can find out more information about Lumara on our website. I was late joining. How do you get on Lumara? So Lumara is only for children. Yeah, it's only for children who've experienced a loss. And if you have anyone that they'd like to refer, you can go on the website and contact Leah, our programs coordinator. Their website. Yeah, we're not going into Lumara. Oh, thank you. On the Minecraft screen, there was an emote button. Oh, yes. Okay, let me go back to that. Emote. So I'm old. I know I don't look it, but I am. I don't really understand how it works, but you can emote, which I have used it a little bit. I can't really even really describe it, but it's something that the kids, you can like kind of dance, kind of. I wish I could answer that question better, but I'm sorry, Victor, I cannot. What is the cost for children to join? Oh, so one of my favorite things about working for Lumara is that it is a nonprofit. So we do a lot of fundraising. We do have a suggested, I think it's $10 per group. So if you come for a monthly, one of our monthly drop-ins, it's suggested for $10. The camp is suggested $40, I think, but all you have to do is send an email to Leah saying that it's a challenge, and it's a pay what you can situation. I do strongly feel that mental health support, therapy should be free for all. And so working for a nonprofit really aligns with my beliefs. So that is that. What is the cost? Okay, got that. Yes. Oh, your grandchildren play Minecraft? Yeah, I'm sure it's a very, very popular game. Can we clone you for every school? Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you. Are you using Discord? No, so I'm using Zoom so I can see them. Discord, I could see the value in that as well, though. Discord's very popular. Am I able to show you an example? I can't show you an example now, but I am speaking at, what's it called? I joke and call it I call it the CAGSIS, but it's not. It's CCGS. Maybe Joshua knows that. The Canadian Children's Grief Symposium. That's what it is. Canadian Children's Grief Symposium in November. And I am hoping to, Karen, I just realized I know who, hi, Karen. I am hoping to get some video for that one. I'll have a little bit more, I have about an hour to talk, so I'll be able to share a bit more then. Do I get the occasional child that asks for my help over and over, and despite being able to participate is demonstrating that they can't do the activity well without my support? Absolutely not, actually. I've never had that. Not in Minecraft. In Minecraft, my experience with this program is that they really take leadership and love to tell me how they know how to do it. It's almost like they've just been bubbling. They've got this effervescent excitement over showing anyone, I know how to do this. I'm in control of this. I can understand that it's a great way to reach the children. Yeah, it really is. Can anyone enroll in these camps across Canada, or are they province specific? It is across Canada. So I am actually on Cape Breton Island in Nova Scotia, and I've had some kids in Nova Scotia, some kids in Ontario, a lot of children from BC, because the organization that I work for is based in BC. Usually, oh, look at that. Thank you. I think that's Jacqueline put the virtual Children's Grief Awareness Symposium. The link for that is up there. And I think I'm also sharing at something for the BC Centre for Palliative Care in in Parksville in November, October. I'm also speaking about this there. If you and I, like I said, I am hoping to have some video of it. So anyone can enroll. Right now, we've had it so that if you've come to a Lumara program before, you can join this. However, if you have a child that you think would really benefit from it, I would just say, we've never been to a Lumara program before. Is there any way? I would still write an email to Leah, the programs coordinator at Lumara, and we'll see if we have extra space. We'll see what we can do. But yes, it is across Canada, which is quite lovely. Do I ever find that the kids get too wrapped up in the game and they don't do any grief focused work? It's a good question. I'd like to, my initial feelings on that question are no. It's usually, okay, if I compare it to, so I'm just coming from a week-long retreat, or a 4-day-long retreat at Camp Carey, Ontario. It's a family grief and bereavement retreat. We have one in BC and one in Ontario. So I'm fresh off the plane, landing back in Nova Scotia after this week. And I can say that it is easier to hold attention in Minecraft than it is in person, for sure. 100%. They do get wrapped up in the game. However, I do have the power. I have the power of sorry, I'm talking about kids and I can't see anyone's faces, and I'm just come fresh off of this family grief retreat. So you're getting a child-focused Meg right now. I have the power to turn off the permissions. So whenever we're ready to go back to the talking time, I set it in motion from the very first group that while we're talking, the children do not have access to building or destroying. So I have their full attention. whenever it's time to share. And I just make that a normal part of the group. It's I don't do it as like a sort of punishment or anything like that. That's not my game. It's like a no. When we're in circle, this is when the permissions are on and off. And so the permissions are off for most of the time. And then when we're on a mission, that's when the permissions are on. Do you have advertising content to share with us so we connect? Oh, that's a good idea. I don't think I do have any advertising about the Minecraft. Oh, and look at that. Jacqueline posted the Parksville Hospice Education Days, November 3rd and 4th. Thank you for that, because I had kind of forgotten when that was. Are there some children that come to this program with no previous experience with Minecraft? Is this an issue? Most people have some experience. Now, that said, it's a fairly easy game to pick up. I think if you're under 40, I love my label maker, love it so much. And I bought a Nintendo Switch for this program so that it's nothing else is connected to it. I'm not borrowing my kid's Switch. And I had to put destroy on one corner and place on the other corner, because I kept on destroying things because I would forget which button did what. But for the most part, no, I think kids really pick it up easily. I've seen both my boys picked it up quite quickly. My eldest really took to it. My youngest could take it or leave it. He likes it, but yeah. Now, I did have a few parents this weekend ask, they had never let their children play video games before. They're about 6 or 7, and they're going to let them come to my game. See, that's how I frame it. It feels like a game. It feels like fun. They're going to come to my program, and so I can probably answer that question best in a few months after I've worked with someone who's never played it at all before. What age group of children do you feel this is best for? Now, I really think we put the age 7 to 12 is where we're putting it at. But I know a lot of 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds that really get a lot out of it. Like I said, my 15-year-old is still really into it in a big way. And it changed, but I think the way you play changes as you move through those developmental milestones. So he's learning about geopolitics and how to navigate building and creating worlds and a whole bunch of things. So I think developmentally, from the purpose of my program, it's 7 to 12. Yeah. That's anything younger than 7, it might be too hard to support. I think that previous question about if someone comes with no experience, I think it would be trickier if the kiddo was say 4 or 5. Next question. Oh, hi, Karen. When the child is building their memorial, can I see what they are doing? Absolutely. Yeah, so while they're building, I can be next. So I'll have my avatar in the realm and their avatar, and I can, fly by where they are and we can talk about it. I have had a few children lose, say, both of their parents due to the fentanyl crisis, the opioid crisis. And it can be really challenging for kids who feel their parents chose drugs over them. That's really, really hard. So right now I'm trying to figure out a way to navigate that, to help navigate that. And I'm thinking of digging down below the memory wall and developing. I've started building it, and some kids are helping me in the next session to build. And so say you lost your parent due to suicide or opioid crisis, and you don't want to have their name on a wall with fireworks, because that's not where you're at. It's a complicated grief. Maybe we can build something underneath the ground, so they can still honor that. They can put their name on the wall somewhere, but it doesn't have to be so in your face, say. Like, it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be fireworks and candles and flowers. It can look different. I would like to try to learn Minecraft so I can understand what is going on. What do I need? Also, it will help me advise what they need. Yeah, so I find you can play on a tablet or a phone. My old lady hands prefer a Switch. I find that easier for me. So I did get to write my Nintendo Switch off as a tax write-off, which was fun. So you do need some type of console and the game itself. So if it's on a tablet or a phone or a tablet, you can download the app for $10, or it's $30 if you have a Switch or an Xbox, something like that. And I would just recommend just playing. It's really fun. It's, like I said, it's a sandbox game, so you can build whatever you want. It's really quite fascinating. Oh, and I see someone has their hand up.
Hi there. Thank you, Meaghan. From one gamer to another, much appreciation. The first during COVID, the first funeral service I did was for a dear friend who did complete suicide, unfortunately. But we're all in our 40s. My friends and I are in our late 30s to early 40s. We had a funeral service done virtually through Minecraft, so I cannot imagine the joy that you bring. Not joy, but the relief and the comfort that you give to the people around you. So I just want to affirm that. And it was all in creative mode, and it's okay to mod things if you need them to be modded. Just a lot of respect. So I wonder if you might be able to speak to the way that Minecraft can give a sense of community and connection to other people around them, especially for little people, because I don't know little people like our little children. I just wonder if you might be able to share that about how they can build together, whether they're using mods or not. Yeah, just how they might connect with one another and build a community together. And thank you so much. This is such a joy today. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. And I have to confess, I don't really fully understand what mods are. I do. I know. If you want to, you can probably explain it much more succinctly.
Just if you're on PC, it sounds like your son, your 15-year-old son, is very attached to that, and I would be too. It's just a quick way to, if you're on PC, that's the only way to do it. You can just use the downloadable mods to go in creative mode, as you said. But for Xbox and PS5 or Nintendo Switch, it's going to be a little bit different, and that's okay. I just wonder, and sorry that the mechanicals of it don't really matter. It was just a quick way to get to officiating a funeral service for a dear friend. And it sounds like what you're doing is supporting our young people in the time of their grief. And especially when you mention that they may have lost their parents quite suddenly, or a parent quite suddenly, to be acknowledged for that, and a safe space for everybody to build together. So my long-winded question is, how do you find in your response of this, of how your little kiddos have connected with each other, with the people you support, how they've built a community together as they literally build things in Minecraft? And thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I only play on Bedrock. I've never learned Java Edition. I've never learned it. I've been told repeatedly it is the superior option. Repeatedly, most kids tell me that it's the best. But yeah, so I only play Bedrock, and for sure it is just a treat to see all of these kids creating and building community together. I know one time we had a fire incident, and so someone was lighting fires. But I have it set, you can change all of the permission, like you can change all of the settings so that I have it so that fires don't spread. So I have it so that there's no day-night cycle. It never rains. It's always daylight. There are no monsters that will come up, because this is part of the games, that sometimes there's zombies or whatnot. I have it so it's perfectly safe. Don't have to worry about the sun going down. And but we did have someone that was lighting individual fires. So the group came together and developed a fire department, and they built a whole fire department with a whole system. And that was one day. That's what we did. We've done what else have we done? Oh, the not the railroad, the roller coaster. So we've got a roller coaster. They developed a whole ticketing situation. They've built maps together so that they can find everyone. Yeah, it's really sweet to see everyone coming together and helping everyone build. The thing that they do really alone for their self-reflective piece is the memory wall. So that's really their time. So you won't have someone else say building someone else's memory wall. That's really the alone time, but everything else is really kind of can be a shared experience. What is the best way to refer children to the program? You can go to, I think it's up here, Lumara. I think it's lumarasociety.org. Yeah, lumarasociety.org/home. And then if you have any questions, you can contact Leah is the program coordinator for the program. But it's an absolute, oh, thank you for placing that again. Yeah, so I work for Lumara Bereavement and Grief Care Society, Grief and Bereavement Care Society, that's based out of Parksville. And I'm all the way on the other side. But I worked at Lionsgate Hospital and North Shore Hospice for many years. So I like to say that I'm bi-coastal now. I'm curious if there are any other questions.
I have a question for you, Meaghan.
Mhm.
And so I know we talked a lot about Minecraft, but what other like informational supports that focus on children's grief that you find may be useful for the group if they want to learn more about children's grief in general?
Oh, that's a good question. I know the Canadian Children's Grief Alliance is doing some really great work. Oh, where else? The Lumara website would definitely be a place to go to as well. Kidsgrief.ca, thank you. Yes, that's the one that I was thinking of. Thanks, Karen. Yeah.
Okay, so I think all the questions have been asked and answered. And so thank you so much, Meaghan, for being here with us today. It was so eye-opening for me to sort of see the creativity that you had to create something like this. And I really loved how you went to where the kids felt safe rather than getting them to try to like trust you in a new room or in a group. It was very um, person-centered in the sense of you realize what they loved and you're able to find a way to work with their grief in that space. And I think that is just so amazing, and I wish we had more groups like that, and hopefully this allows people to sort of understand more of where people are at before they make a group and then like develop it for them rather than for what you feel is best for them. Like it's that kind of thing. So yes, thank you again. I really appreciate you taking the time to be here, and we hope everyone here actually enjoyed the session too. And we will ask that you complete a short survey. Jacqueline's going to put that in the link and the link in the chat. And so registration for the next session is going to be on pregnancy and infant loss, misunderstood grief, and that's scheduled for Wednesday, November 22nd from 12 to 1. And so to be notified of any other sessions that we're going to have in the future, you can feel free to subscribe to our newsletter, and that will be put in the chat too. And so our aim is to provide a copy of this presentation recording, also some summary notes and other resources to you within the next 7 days. So just watch your email for any of this information and visit the center's website if you actually do want to know what other upcoming ECHO sessions we have. So thank you for attending, and we do hope to see you again. And once again, Meaghan, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been lovely.